Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay. Mahalo for this opportunity to provide testimony on item C2 of your agenda. Aloha. My name is Ainaaloha Ioane, and I serve as the board support and associate member of Malama Ka'aina Hana Ka'aina, MAHA. And on behalf of the beneficiaries of Kingslanding, I want to mahalo the temporary investigative group, Commissioners Kalekini, Ka'apu Awo, and Chair Ayla for making a move towards a resolution to resolve our 42-year-old story. I need to share that the overall language of the recommendation before us is a bit disturbing, as it does not reflect the discussion that the chair and LMD Administrator Kahana Albino had with MAHA on December 28 of last year. Our discussion supported beneficiary use. Now I see that the general public use is also being considered. At our meeting, we discussed 3 items. 1, the designation of Keokahachak 2 for Kuleana homesteading. 2, undivided interest leases. And 3rd, a right of entry permit for caretaker responsibilities. In addition, the chair and Mr. Albino committed that once the ROE was executed, the department would initiate the removal of trespassers and address the other illegal activities in Kingslanding. There was no mention of other type of land use designations as part of our discussion. The designation of a park or conservation area would need to be discussed with the beneficiaries, practitioners, and Kupa of the Aina. To recommend these designations now without consultation is somewhat premature at this time. It directs our attention away from the priority at hand, which is the beneficiaries of Kingslanding. In addition, the recommendation within the proposal is also somewhat intimidating. To respect the kupuna that have died while waiting for the Department of Hawaiian Homelands to place them on their lands, we at Kingslanding have been preparing ourselves as a village for the possibility of some beneficiaries not receiving leases. We are not prepared for the possibility of no leases. The potential removal of all beneficiaries from Kingslanding severs Native Hawaiian genealogical relationships to Aina and threatens our Native Hawaiian intelligence, rehabilitation, and self-determination. The language of this proposal lacks the supportiveness discussed and is shared to MAHA board during our only beneficiary consultation visit. The purpose of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act is to enable Native Hawaiians to return to their lands to fully support self-sufficiency and self-determination by placing them on the land in a prompt and efficient manner to ensure long-term tendency to beneficiaries and their successors. The Act ensures that the traditions, culture, and quality of life of Native Hawaiians shall forever be self-sustaining. For over 42 years and 3 generations, the Kingslanding Hawaiian beneficiaries have done just that. We have returned to Aina, feeding our spirit. We are Hawaiians rehabilitated through the relationship with Aina and the sustainability of our ocean. We have determined for ourselves what our rehabilitation looks and feels like. And I ask you humbly, commissioners, understand that this is the life breath of our village and that we live our sovereignty every day on Aina Pula Pula of Kingslanding. And we are entrusting that you will carry out not only what is pono for our community and our people, but what is granted to the Hawaiian beneficiary of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. Mr. Chair, I ask that the recommendations in this submittal reflect our conversation on December 28, and that any other additions or recommendations be considered by all of us before it is presented to the commissioners. Mahalo. I would now like to introduce to you the Piko of our village of Kingslanding. The following MAHA members that will speak come from our Kupuna Council. These kupunas have raised their keiki and now mo'opuna in the lands of Kingslanding. They are the living, breathing kupa of these lands. Mahalo. So Papa's gonna go first.